Dumb fun.
It's been a crazy week. The podcast is getting more popular.
Yes, we have 3 more listeners.
So we have 3 more listeners, and I think I got, and I don't even know how this is possible, but Twitter told me we had 1.5 more followers.
That's amazing.
It is more. It is
That's
amazing.
amazing.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's like someone who's not verified, if that counts as a half.
I've been verified twice. Have you?
I've never been. How were you unverified?
Well, apparently, you're not allowed to suggest that some of our reality never happens.
Which of the you there's a lot of major events in history that you say never happened.
Okay, so the problem is, right, that when in periods of my life I have tried to disconnect, and I think everybody should. I think everybody should, turn your phone off, turn it on silent. I apparently have missed major world events.
You're doing air quotes for the listener.
I missed, and then when I was told them later, I said, that didn't happen. Otherwise, I would have heard about it.
Right.
And then I took to the internet to ask and say, are you sure that 2 planes crashed into the world towers?
Yeah, I know at that time I was
living in a cave.
You're living in a cave trying to start up Heaven's Gate. You caught it. Yeah, I got a lot of emails about this at the time. Heaven's Gate Part 2.
Yes, so obviously in Heaven's Gate, not everybody stayed on this earth plane. A lot of people were beamed up into the sky, right?
Yeah, all but you.
As was T and Doe's advice to all of us, like that would happen. I missed it. Mm-hmm. I had to shoot that day, so I couldn't be there. So I had to do some other stuff. I had to be on the telly. I don't know if you guys, Americans, you might know it as television.
What were you on? You were doing like an MTV Diary?
I was on MTV's Made.
Okay. Yeah, what were they making you?
Oh, yes, it was. So instead of a teenager asking to be an actress, which that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that I was going on there to teach a lucky thespian how to be an actress. And instead, they took me to Gordon Ramsay's kitchen, and they made him yell at me until I could sear scallops.
Oh, but you can sear scallops now.
No, I cried through the whole instruction because that man yells a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm now registered to vote in Flavortown.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I guess that's sort of a dual citizenship deal he has with Guy Fieri. Twitter refuses to verify me. I know that. They keep saying that they need my birth certificate. They keep insisting that my birth certificate is not real.
They don't actually need that.
That's what I've said, and that's what my lawyers have told them. As you know, I have one of the wolves that used to live with me that act as a lawyer in many of my legal matters.
Oh, I was going to ask about legal fees, but it seems that those legal fees are a couple of pellets.
A T-bone steak, that I steal from the butcher, I throw in there. And
so you're not living with the wolves right now?
Not right now. No, not right now. I'm on the road right now. Here, let's get it here. Let's start the podcast and then we'll get into it. We're still on Amazon Prime, so I can play the theme song.
No, we're on Disney Plus.
Whoa! We got acquired by the big D.
It's us and WandaVision, a show that I requested an audition for and was explicitly said, "Who are you?"
Yeah. Do you know which role you were auditioning for?
I was auditioning for one of the village people, not the people in the band, but one of the people that lived in the little town.
But it was a construction worker, as I remember.
Yes, and they said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Please, I want to be somebody that lifts up a heavy piece of wood and says, 'Hi, Wanda, nice to see you again today.'"
So you wanted them to create a role for you.
Wait, that's not in the script.
Yeah.
I'm confused because I did an entire monologue.
Okay, I'm on Disney Plus. I'm going to play the theme song. We'll start the show. Here we go. Hello, welcome back to Fanny Falls, the podcast. I'm Topher Jason.
Hello, Letty Lamora here, there, and everywhere you can listen.
That was sort of your tagline when you used to do soft rock radio.
Yes, when I was briefly a radio DJ.
Yeah, Delilah was watching her ass, I remember, because you were doing pretty good.
Well, it's because every day I would say, Delilah, I'm coming for your gig.
Yeah, and you'd say it to her face.
Yeah, I was handed a cease and desist.
Yeah. Well, that's just one form of a request, and that's what she takes. You know what I mean? So I'm coming to you from the Great Road here in America.
Yeah, it sounds rather strange. I can hear like a whirring train behind you.
That's right now. That's just a car motor. That's what a car sounds like when you're not being driven by someone in the front seat.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, last we talked, I was in New Mexico. I'm trying to make my way to you over in London. I'm been hitchhiking across the country, and I met a nice man named Spider, who I'm here with. He's driving. I got one of these heat seats that gives me Wi-Fi from wherever.
Hold on. Does Spider play Hacksack?
I think Spider, do you play Hacksack? He's not. He doesn't talk much.
I feel like I met a Spider who plays Hacksack.
He has a tattoo, like a teardrop tattoo here.
Oh yes, I have met him.
No
we need
sleeves.
to get out of that car.
Well, he says he's got some. He says what he told me he's got a score to settle in Arkansas, and so he'll take me that far.
You're gonna go to Arkansas? Are you gonna go with him on the score?
I don't know if he needs help on the job. Spider, do you need help on the job? He just shook his head at me, and he just keeps driving. But so yeah, I'm at least gonna get to Arkansas, and once we get there, I'll figure out how to get across the old Poland, as you would say.
Oh, I don't know. I've been out of town.
Yeah, but you won't be by the time I get there.
I don't know. I mean, I had to go up to Norfolk for a second.
Oh yeah, well, it was in Norfolk. Am I
It's
pronouncing that right? Norfolk?
No, okay. Wow. Oh, get your nan away from the speakers, please. Oh my God.
All right, can you hear that I'm eating naan?
Oh, you're eating Indian naan.
Yeah, it's too close to the speakers, you're saying?
Oh my God, no, it's in England. Sorry, I forgot I've been away from America for so long.
Mm-hmm.
In England, that's what someone would call I guess a grandmother.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
As a reminder to the listener, you are from Champaign-Urbana, Illinois.
But I am now. The English have really embraced me. If my accent sounds a little different this week, it is because I went to Norfolk. And also, whilst I was there, I was visiting my sister, who has decided, annoyingly, to also move across the pond. Okay.
Wow.
So she's living in Norfolk, and she took one of those Ancestry.com quizzes.
Okay.
Whatever, you spit, and it tells you an answer. And it told her that we are 1% Cypriot.
Cypriot. I don't know if I'm familiar with that ethnicity.
When I heard that, I said, this is who we are.
Is that someone from Cyprus?
It is somebody from Cyprus.
Okay, I didn't know
the island nation between Greek and Turkey. And we are neither Greece nor Turkish.
No, but you are 1% what's the adjective?
Cypriot.
Cypriot. Did you know that already, or is that something you learned through your...
Never knew that, but when I learned that, I said, oh my God, everything makes sense now.
Okay.
Everything. Now it's 1% is enough to make it my entire identity a new thing.
That's great. You need that, because I know your last thing that was your whole identity, it sort of fell apart. It was, what were you doing? You were sort of baking...
popsicles?
You were baking popsicles, which is not historically how they're made.
It did not work out for me to make baked popsicles. Turns out nobody really wants a loaf of banana bread on a stick.
It sounds good to me. It sounds good to me, Letty.
So right now, though, I'm trying to pitch a travel show where I try to get down to my Cypriotic roots.
Okay.
I really think that's a great idea.
So you will go to Cyprus, and you'll sort of go around and look at the places where your ancestors...
Yeah. And I'll say, I'm one of you to everyone I meet.
But 1%, what does that even... Does that mean that you had how far back does that go? Do you know?
I know, right?
Okay.
And that's kind of the issue. That's what the show can explore is 1%. It's 1%, but it could be your entire soul.
It's true. I've often felt, I'm only 1% a lot of things, that I was told in school that I was only 1% literate, but that didn't stop me from... getting someone to read me scripts and becoming an actor for a short time in the late 90s.
Can you read yet?
have more people who are willing to read for me. I taught one of the wolves to sort of make sounds that I think are the words that are on the paper, but I'm never sure if really what he's I'm never sure. This is, you know, this. I'm never sure if the wolves have their own agenda or not.
Well, I was going to say, I'm a little concerned because I know that you have written letters to all of our guests to request their presence on the show. And I guess I didn't know how advanced your reading and writing skills were. And I'm worried that perhaps the people that you've invited on the show do not even know why they're here.
They are messy. The letters that I send. And I use a lot of stickers to sort of help convey my messages, you know? Like I say, like, it would be and then I put a sticker down that says, good job if you would come to do our podcast. You know?
Well, I mean, we have a guest today, so that's something.
We do have a guest today. Well, we jump into it. He got my letter. You know, you can talk all that nonsense you want, but he got my letter. He's here. One of the biggest guest stars we ever had. He played Corvus Bitter in episode 4, which we're going to be talking about today. House Always Wins. He is a musical legend, film. He's become a film legend now, and I think, you know, we'll see maybe that he got the bug when he saw it all working on our show. But let's find out from him himself. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Rob Zombie is with us. How are you doing, Rob?
Hey, yeah, it's nice to be here.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. What's it been, like 20, 30 years?
About 23 years, yeah, right in the middle.
It's been wonderful. It's so nice to hear from you again, Robert Zombie. I'm so thrilled to be in your presence. You're so wonderful to work with.
You guys worked on one other thing I remember after the show together, but I don't remember what it was.
I was in a film which, Robert, I don't remember you ever releasing it, if I'm correct. It was called La Casa de 5,000 Disembodied Heads. And I was unsure because I had to fly down to Argentina to film it with you, and then I just never heard from it again.
Well, yeah, that was unfortunately my first attempted foray into filmmaking, and as you know, I was able to secure funding a few years later for a similarly titled House of 1,000 Corpses.
So had to bring it down, but they made you bring it down on account of the budget.
Well, I got whole corpses that time instead of just the heads.
That's the trade.
He made us, I had to wear a turtleneck and I had to put the neck part all the way up over my head to make it look like I didn't have a head, but I had an extraordinarily long neck.
Yeah, and you were there were 4,999 other.
There were so many other people, and it was like everyone was in this movie. It was a real who's who. I mean, everyone was there. Every single person was cast in this film. Everyone.
Yeah.
Were you there? I can't, because there were so many people I can't keep straight who was there.
I was there. I was on the set, but I was not in the film itself. That was when I was sort of experimenting with sort of working behind the camera and even further behind that in the makeup department. And, yeah. I remember I was on that film that they learned that I do not know how to do that.
Oh yeah, you couldn't really apply the neck wounds
and
things like that we needed for the disembodied heads. I was not asked to do the other film, The House of 1,000 Corpses. Just kind of, I don't know if you want to expound on that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, as it was my first foray into filmmaking, there was a lot that it turns out, did not know about the art of filmmaking. I just kind of thought that we could just set it up and then, you know, see what happens. And as it turns out, there's a lot more to it than just getting 5,000 people with turtlenecks on in a room together, in a casa, if you will.
It was a casa, yeah.
I'm very embarrassed to admit this, but in retrospect, I should have understood that you needed to have a camera and a whole crew for the movie.
First one, yeah.
Yeah, that was really, I think that was probably the reason why it never got released.
Oh, that explains it.
But, you know, in a lot, you know, some people have, you know, that's just a play and that's still art. You know, some people have done an hour of podcasting and forgotten to hit record, and that's still art that you created in that moment, you know?
That's just talking.
Yeah, but it's talking, you've created art for, you know, the three of you or however many that were there to hear it. That's you created important art in that moment, you know?
That's true. Do you like to think that every single word I utter into the universe is being heard by somebody in a way that is experiencing art?
Yeah. Oh man, the things that me and my friends say, it should just be a TV show.
I mean,
If my life was a TV show, people
I
would
mean,
rolling.
oh, well, Robert, you put your wife in a lot of your films, which I think is amazing because I am famously married to famous director Cairo Alexander, and he has not put me in a movie.
Mm-mm.
So it is really cool to me. Cool that you put your wife in all your films. You guys work together so well.
That's another kind of thing where as an amateur filmmaker starting out, it was just kind of a happy accident. I wasn't aware of the kind of unspoken rules, like quiet on the set and things of that nature. And she would just wander in, and people seemed to like it, so we just kept it.
Yeah, that's one thing people say about you is that they really like that your wife is in all those movies. Let's go back a little bit. It's 1996. We're shooting Fanny Falls. We have this part that needs a hot young music star. You've just finished with White Zombie, your band. You've had a couple of big hits. What draws you to the show? What draws you to come do our show, Fanny Falls Demon Hunter?
Well, to be honest, I was in a bit of financial trouble. I was at the height of my addiction, as were many people back in '96.
That was to
what?
Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a pandemic. I lost a lot of good people.
I lost a lot of good money to those little pastel rabbits.
I mean, White Zombie, we broke up because that last tour, I had an entire bus just for my beanies, and the rest of the fellas said it was eating into their cocaine budget, you know.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
That's so sad.
And I also know it's like right around the corner that Diana one is getting ready to come out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's when I got out. I said, listen, I may be ghoulish, but this is too ghoulish.
You got out before the things got really crazy. It could have gotten a lot worse.
It's true. Did you first meet with Colby, the creator of the show, and how did that go? Who did you talk to that got you involved in the show?
That would be my manager. He came to me and he said, hey, you know how you like all this spooky bullshit and old-timey Frankensteins? And well, there's a show called Fanny Falls Demon Hunter. And I said, I've never heard of that.
Oh.
And he said,
we were new
I think it's right up your alley. And I said, don't tell me what's right up my alley. I like the Mummy, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Spider-Man. Spider-Man was because I had a misunderstanding about the nature of the character.
It's a confusing name. It's a very confusing name.
To be fair, there was not a Spider-Man movie when I said that, so it was not necessarily that I wasn't informed. It was that Hollywood had not had a chance to inform me about the nature of the Spider-Man.
That's true. I know you're a big fan of Abbott and Costello because of their associations with those gentlemen.
True, they met the Mummy.
And then Scooby-Doo, I think you're a big Scooby-Doo collector as well.
Yes, well, that's I always wanted to meet Phyllis Diller.
Oh yes, Phyllis Diller was in Mad Monster Party.
I think she ended up. Was she in the Dracula video? I can't remember.
We tried together, but she was already filming another music video that day.
Oh really?
That was the Blind Melon No Rain video.
That's right.
Abbott and Costello, they really go around. They really met so many fascinating people. They met the Frankenstein. They met the Mummy, the Invisible Man. They went down to Africa in ways that are probably very culturally sensitive. They just did so many amazing things. So it is so wonderful to hear that you were inspired by those two. And I wonder God, I wish I could be like them and just, inch my way into every other franchise that already exists.
I feel like we are like them in a way, Letty. We met a lot of interesting people. We hung out with the Mummy for a very long time.
Oh yes. Can't forget the Mummy.
We'll get to that. That's all coming. So then you came on the set. Was it what you were thinking it was, when you were told that, you liked, all this stuff? Well, you see the Mummy right away. Your first scene is with the Mummy. Did you feel like your promise had been fulfilled?
Well, the thing that I mostly remember about that particular incident was when I got there, as you know, I did not understand how movies worked. So I did not read the script ahead of time. You might recall the mummy. What was that fella's name?
That is Nathan.
Nathan.
Yeah.
They just ended up writing my lines on the toilet paper wrapped around him.
Yeah, that's
as a way
smart.
of- I think if you go back and watch that episode, you can kind of see my eyes kind of scanning left to right.
That's what that was. I thought that he was obviously, I think everyone now knows me and the mummy had a backstage relationship, had an off-camera fling, and I thought he was trying to write me poetry as like a fun wink, and I didn't know that those were your lines.
From this one episode, yeah. They stayed on there for the rest of the show.
I was trying to read them.
You thought he wrote you a poem that started with, "Look here, Rob Zombie."
Look here, because he would always go, look here, I have something to say. And that's all I could see. And so I would, I don't know if you can see me in some of the scenes when I'm not speaking. I'm trying to read, my eyes are going down, going, what is that? I'm squinting.
I'm not sure that I knew, Letty, that you and Solomon, who played Nathan, had a thing.
I thought everyone knew that.
Really?
You guys didn't know that?
Well, here's a little teaser for you. I think we're gonna have Solomon on next week's episode, so maybe we can talk to him about it.
Oh, I haven't seen him in so long. I don't know.
Well, I wrote him a letter.
I don't know if I can handle it.
I'm fairly certain he got my letter, and we'll talk about that next week.
Oh my God.
Well, I think we're gonna jump into this episode soon because there's a lot to take apart. There's a lot to unpack with everything that you did for the episode, Rob. And I think it'll be more helpful to just go through it as we talk about it. So why don't we take a quick ad break and then we can jump right into this episode, House Always Wins, on Fanny Falls Demon Hunter, the podcast. Hey guys, if you're anything like me, you hate going to the post office. Or Letty, I think you guys just caught the post.
I was gonna say, but what?
Yeah. We needn't be so formal.
We need to be so formal when I'm trying to get a stamp.
Yeah, it's hell for you to go to the post office because you get recognized.
Well, I have to leave my chateau, and then I have to go all the way down. I have to go into town, which is what I call London.
Mm-hmm.
And I get recognized, and I have to beat them off with a stick practically, just so I can mail my letter.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. Whenever I go to the post office, I get recognized because I tried to rob that post office once, and they have a picture of me up. So I get recognized every time I'm at the post office.
You've never tried to go to a different post office.
Well, that's my post office. That's how that works. And that's what I'm saying. It's all such a pain in the ass to do all this stuff. And so that's why our sponsor this week is PG School, where you can learn to become your own Postmaster General. Your house will become a working U.S. post office, and you will be designated and ordained a U.S. Postmaster General.
Yes, you have to be ordained through the Church of Letter Carriers in order to become a Postmaster General. But once you are such, you can monetize stamps yourself. You can buy and sell them however you see fit.
Now, I don't know too much about this organization, the Church of Letter Carriers. This is something you set me up with. You often set me up with these small 501(c)(3)s.
Yes, because they don't have to pay taxes like the rest of us. And also, they're doing good for the world. They're doing great things. The Church of the Letter Carriers, they just, they're trying to help the little man when it comes to writing a letter to your nan and sending it out to the world. And yes, you have to pay dues. And yes, they go to a creature that you've never seen before named Hahu. But it's there's such a joy when you give someone a letter.
That's right. So if you become a Postmaster General, you will get Hahul in your house 9 to 5 every day to help you sort mail.
Also to tell him about your problems, and he promises to not use that as blackmail in the future.
Yeah, I understand that Biz Marquis will come to your house as his character as the beatboxing alien who works in a post office for Men in Black 2.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And Newman is there.
Newman is there. I think you get a FaceTime with Newman.
You get a 5-minute FaceTime phone call with Newman.
This is like a free cameo.
He promises to go, Jerry.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good when you do that.
That's really good, yeah.
So sign up at pgschool.live. Is that right?
.live. Gov, but Gov is G-U-D.
Yeah, short for governor.
Oh, governor. Hey, it's a British website.
It is. Okay. So it's pgschool.live.governor.
Yes.
Okay. And your house will no longer be of your own control, but in fact, it will be a U.S. post office with other people free to come and go as they please.
Your house won't be a house anymore. It'll be a post.
Your toaster oven is a P.O. box now. Yeah. Your
bathroom is the break room.
Your bathroom is the break room. Your little mirror that you open to get your shaving kit out. Now that's where stamps are. Stamps live there now. Yeah. And you're going to have to put stamps on instead of deodorant in the morning. And that's all part of the promise of pgschool.live.governor. So go there, use the promo code ZOMBIE in honor of our guest today, Rob Zombie, and you will get, what is this that you get here? You get
the FaceTime phone call.
You get the FaceTime phone call with Newman. That's only if you use our promo code. So help out Wayne Knight and go to pgschool.live.governor. We're back here talking about episode 4 of Fanny Falls, House Always Wins with Rob Zombie. Hello, Rob. Let's just jump right in. Where I sort of pulled a longer than usual clip to start the episode off here, but it's packed with stuff. We got your first appearance, Rob. We got Nathan the Mummy is back, and that's actually pretty much all that happens in this scene. But it's filled with fun. I think you guys are gonna like it. We're gonna jump right into that now, and then we'll be back on the other side to talk about it.
Who's this musician guy again?
Fanny, keep your voice down. I have status in this Sam Goody, and I cannot have them knowing that I brought someone in who's never heard of Corvus Bitter. Okay?
I loathe to agree with Ophelia about, well, anything, but Corvus Bitter is rad as hell. The way he mixes rock with techno is just hypnotizing. And techno, that's like music but with computers?
Good God, Fanny, you do realize there are songs that exist where Grandma doesn't get run over by a reindeer?
You like this guy too, Charles?
Don't look at me. I'm just here to pick up some local indie rock CDs.
Is this the Space Jam soundtrack you're holding?
It's for my nephew.
You're an only child, doofus.
Yeah, I'm in the Big Nephew program. It's like the Big Brother program, but you only have to see them at weddings and Christmas. Is anyone buying this?
Relax, Charles. No shame here.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could be that guy over in the world music section, dressed in a trench coat and head-to-toe bandages, and oh my God, he's coming over here.
Fanny, hello.
Nathan! Good to see you. This is everybody. Everybody, this is Nathan. He helped me find the professor.
Hi there. You're all probably wondering why my whole body is wrapped up.
No.
Yes.
Ophelia.
It's fine. I can explain if you guys want.
No.
Yes.
Okay, here goes. I'll explain. I'll just start talking now and give you guys an explanation. An explanation for the bandages that cover my entire body. I was in a very bad car accident. A truck ran me over. A truck of acid.
Such a wild thing to describe as a car accident.
I thought you told me you cut yourself shaving.
I did, yes. Okay, fine. I'll level with you guys. It's a nicotine patch. I have a smoking problem.
Don't those usually just go on your shoulder?
I have a really bad smoking problem.
Yeah, me too. I can't smoke the things fast enough. Adoy! No, I'm joking. But seriously, if you're old enough to buy cigarettes, I'm sure we could work something out.
So Nathan, what CDs are you getting today?
Oh, just some local indie rock albums.
Lutes, lyres, etc. Systems to worship the gods too. Now that's what I call ancient Egyptian music, volume 12.
Yes. Well, it could be worse. I could be the weirdo over there in the skin-tight vinyl and purple hair, and oh my God, he's coming over here.
Hey, do you guys know where they keep the local indie rock?
Sure, but if you're looking for the Space Jam soundtrack, you should just be honest with yourself.
Charles, shut up.
You're Corvus Bitter.
Sure, but the whole mall doesn't need to know that. I'm trying to stay incognito today.
Yes, I always go out in a skin-tight bodysuit and purple hair when I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Hey man, what happened to your body?
I got TP'd by some middle schoolers. I have to go. See you around, Fanny.
What are you doing in town, Cor? Can I call you Cor or Corvus, Mr. Bitter, Senor Bit? I don't know what you want me to call you.
You guys can keep a secret. I'm playing an underground show at the Hot House tonight, and I'm looking for a local opening act.
Jasmine! This is my friend Jasmine. She is my friend, and she can open for you. She does music.
Jasmine, huh? What's your sound like?
Kind of a bluesy electronica, like if the Chemical Brothers were both Tracy Chapman.
Disgusting. I love it. You're on at 8. I'll put all you guys on the guest list. No cops.
Oh my god, my best friend is opening for Corvus Bitter.
We're barely acquaintances.
My very best friend in the whole world is opening for Corvus Bitter. Can you believe it?
Something's not right about that guy.
You mean the fact that he's not currently seeing God in the backseat of my dad's Beamer? Nope. No, Fanny. I know that look. I swear to gall if your sacred birthright to protect the entire Chicagoland area from demons gets in the way of my one chance to get with Corvus Bitter, demon hunter or not, I will take you down. Tonight, you're just going to be a normal girl dancing in the audience of a rock show. Can you dig it?
Well then, let's dance.
Wow. So much.
Oh my God, what a scene.
Were we ever so young?
Reliving it, I'm just like, oh my God, to be in a Sim Goodie. What was in the Lincolnwood Mall?
It was, the town center.
Yeah, because we were driven there. We had a bus that collected us in the morning, but they didn't have room in the car, so I think they made you take the number 11 bus up there.
Yeah,
It
which
doesn't go all the way.
It's not. No, the 82 would have been better, I think, because that goes right there. But no, they made me take the number 11, and then I sort of had to walk over.
Yeah.
But I could have hitchhiked if I would have known how comfortable I'd be with hitchhiking, right, Spider? Anyway. So then we all got there. Rob, I remember you. So there's, your let's talk about your wardrobe, your hair. There's a lot of talk about it. Obviously, the part was written for Marilyn Manson. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock arriving on set. I don't know how familiar you are with my earlier work, but it was more of like a kind of like a guy who died on his wedding day and they just immediately buried him in his old-timey clothes, and then he crawled up out of the grave with long fingernails and hair.
That's Rob Zombie's thing.
That's my thing. Yeah, that and wanting to relive my childhood experiences with Abbott and Costello by partying with the Wolfman and Dracula.
That's rad.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so you're not exactly Marilyn Manson. There's a lot of talk about the music. The people who like your music are called ravers. But you're not really a techno music guy. You're just sort of electronica rock, right? How would you describe it?
I believe the word for it is hellbilly music.
Oh, okay. I like that.
That's so fun. Yeah, I know. I don't know why they didn't change the script at all when they could not get Marilyn that day. They left it in. If I understand correctly, they wrote it for Marilyn Manson and then didn't even ask him.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened?
Well, yeah, I remember that they didn't ask him and that we went straight to Rob Zombie. But Rob, maybe you have more information on that.
Well, I mean, back in the 90s, I remember this was a pretty common thing. People would want Marilyn Manson to do something, but then they would be too scared to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
so they would go around Saturday Night Live. They tried to get him. They ended up going with Chris Gaines instead.
Oh, I love him.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love him.
Man, Garth Brooks, Marilyn Manson would have been a wild episode, though.
Who's Garth Brooks?
He was the host of that episode that Chris Gaines was on.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him. He's so forgettable.
I think he does hellbilly music too.
Yeah.
But so I remember Billy Corgan was getting a lot of things because people were too scared to ask Marilyn, which I don't even think is a one-to-one thing. But yeah, so it must have been you were sort of getting the runoff, as it were.
Yeah, I think that they asked Billy, but he explained that he didn't have hair anymore, and so they had to go.
Yeah,
They'd fly me out. Billy was right there.
Yeah.
He lives out by that mall.
Yeah. He opened a tea shop right down the street just out of spite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was pissed off they didn't have a wig department on the show.
I also heard you were the second choice to inspire Columbine.
Yeah, that.
What a get.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm sorry. I just laugh whenever anybody says Columbine.
Oh, that's understandable. I tweeted that and I became unverified.
Yeah, oh, that was one of the times you became
That was
unverified.
one of the times I became unverified and I had to beg for it back. I had to say I'm sorry.
So you're also unverified on Twitter?
Are you unverified too?
I've had my own troubles. I actually contacted them and they said, yeah, we're going to get it all squared away. And then I waited a couple of days, didn't hear anything back. And the next time I reached out to them, they said, yeah, you should have the blue check now. And I said, I don't. And they said, hang on, let me see. And they said, yeah, we're showing it. And I said, I'm not seeing it. And they said, oh, I'm sorry. We gave it to the crypt keeper instead on accident.
Oh, I follow him.
He is. He's very funny.
He's very funny.
He creates some good content. I have to hand
He
it to him.
tweets that one.
He does. Now I know you're on Facebook because I got a friend request from you the other day that was the first name is Sherry and Rob, and it's one of those shared accounts that you guys have.
Right.
Couple goals,
Couple of goals for
Couple
sure.
goals. I asked Cairo. I said, "Should we do one of those cute little joint accounts?" My husband Cairo, and he was like, "No, that's so bad for my business. It's so bad for my business to be associated with you and your silly shows."
That's right. He says that a lot. Like whenever I see you guys at parties, he's saying that.
He says it out loud in public.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Do we want to? I didn't have time to pull it, but do we want to talk about the Miss Thickness subplot in this episode? None of the clips I have it in there. So Miss Thickness has a subplot in this episode that I think is about bowling mostly.
I don't remember it exactly, but was it something like she inherited an old-timey bowling alley?
And and there was no demonology to it whatsoever.
She just had to own a bowling alley.
She had to try and figure out how to own a bowling alley and at the same time like lead her bowling team to the Chicago City Championships.
Because you had a whole fun bit in a scene where you had to go and set up the pins and you couldn't do it fast enough,
Yeah, and there was a scene where she goes to throw her bowling ball, but I'm still holding it, so I get tossed all the way down the lane because she's very strong, Miss Thickness.
Yeah. They cut all of that out, didn't
they? They did.
In there. Yeah.
They cut all of that out. So yeah, sort of the opening scene is like she gets the letter that her relative has died. She goes in the bowling alley. She's like, I don't know about this. And then she walks up to the soda fountain. She tries to get a Coke, but it just sprays all over because she doesn't realize you got to set those things up. And she just sort of puts her hands on her hips and goes, I guess I'm in for a long day.
Yeah, that was a really fun divergence. I heard a rumor on set from the Mummy. He told me they were trying to give her a spin-off, but unfortunately that didn't land with that episode.
I'm still hoping actually that with the popularity of this podcast that we can get that Thickness spinoff off the ground.
Yeah, I think they wanted to call it Bowling for Thickness.
Yeah, sort of an homage to, I don't want to say what it is because then I'm afraid Rob will start laughing again.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into scene 2 here then. You know what? I just went ahead and pulled, this is exciting. I just pulled the whole song that you sing, Rob, where Corvus is playing at the hot house. He's on stage. Fanny's not there, and Nathan, the mummy, are not there, but everyone else is there. And this is the scene where you sort of put everyone under your thrall, and we sort of find out what you're really about. Mm-hmm. So let's play it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Everyone already knows it. Here is the hit song, Do My Bidding, from Fanny Falls, episode 4.
My parents don't understand me. Nobody thinks I'm cool. My neighbors all ignore me, and so do the kids at school. But they're all gonna pay when they do my bidding. So do my bidding. I'll do my bidding. Just do my bidding. Hey, you, get me a corn dog. Hey, you, give yourself a haircut. Hey, you, dance real sexy. Hey Charles, come wipe my butt. Yes, you're all gonna pay as you do my bidding, bidding, bidding. Just do my bidding, bidding, bidding. Yes, do my bidding, bidding, bidding. World will do my bidding, bidding.
Sort of while all this is going on, we see you're hypnotizing everyone into doing your will, your bidding, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about it. I mean,
stuck in my head now.
I mean, Rob, that's
God.
that song. That's the only song that you've ever had go to #1 on Billboard as a solo artist.
I know, and here's the funny thing: wasn't written for the show.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
That was actually that was a song that I had thrown out off of my debut solo album, Hellbilly Deluxe 13 Tales of Cadaverous Cavorting Inside the Spook Show International.
Now, I have a question though. Were all of the lyrics unchanged because you specifically say Charles wipe my butt?
Oh yeah. The song actually was originally about my Beanie Baby addiction, and I would spend all day and all night on eBay. And I finally had to get Charles to come in there.
Oh, do my bidding.
And do my bidding for me. But then I just got hooked on having Charles around. So then he was dancing real sexy and wiping my butt.
That was a weird scene for me to film. We became very close that day. I remember.
It was kind of a shining moment. You had a real day on set, just dancing around, and we all had to watch. And
I did wipe his butt several times.
Yeah, and she kept throwing things at you. It's kind of like the cartoons when they go dance and they shoot a gun and you have to dance. And she did that to you too.
Yeah, she actually was shooting a gun at my feet while I was at what you can't tell because it's the scene is shot well in such a way that you can't see that I'm dodging bullets at my feet.
God, she's such a genius. Yeah.
She gets results. Yeah. She gets results.
Wow.
I mean, first of all, I do want to play this. This is from 2009. This is from the Girl Talk album. The zoo is all the animals are free at the zoo, but I don't care because I'm the crazy zookeeper.
Oh yeah, I remember that album.
This is one of the hot songs of it. Just a little excerpt. Big, huge hit for Girl Talk.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, so many people lost their virginity to that song.
It still is today, like literally just the other. Letty, do you know about TikTok?
What? Who's that? Is that the clock from Beauty and the Beast?
It might be. Do you know about it, Rob?
I believe he's the weird mechanical man from the sequel to The Wizard of Oz.
That's closer.
But
what it actually is like a little YouTube for teens. And I was on there the other day, sort of looking for, to see what the teens are into these days.
I don't know if you should look into what the teens are into.
It's not as bad as it seems. I just want to talk to teens. But this was on there. This is the Boys Club Choir of Notre Dame. Listen to this. My family don't understand me. Nobody thinks I'm cool. My neighbors all ignore me. And so do the kids at school. But they're all gonna pay.
When they do my
bidding.
so do my
Bidding.
do my
Bidding. So this thing still pervades today as popular.
Wait, I can't believe it. The kids are actually watching the show.
Yeah. The kids are loving it.
And they do that. They do that on the TikTok.
They do. Yeah, they're loving that. So it's impossible to overstate the penetration of the song "Do My Bidding" and how big it was for you, Rob. Right?
It really did penetrate.
Yeah. It makes me feel good to see that song is still living on in our current society.
Do you think you got opportunities because of Do My Bidding?
No, I don't think I did not see one red cent from Do My Bidding.
Really?
Yeah.
How is that possible? It's your song.
I was pressured into signing over the rights to Suge Knight.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry.
Well, you know, he was moving Beanie Babies back in the day. And
yeah, I remember there's a famous story of him holding one of the Beanie Babies over a balcony to try and get more money for it.
Right, that did happen.
Yeah.
It was the stork.
Yeah,
it was the stork.
Yeah, that was really sad.
But I do want to know, while I have you here, Rob, too, before we jump into the final scene of the episode, was this at all like when you're on the set and you're around the cameras and everything, are you sort of thinking, wait a minute, maybe I can make movies? Like, did that start here?
Yes, yeah, I would say that was probably the first time when I was in that rubber suit with the dreadlock wig. They had me dancing around to that techno music and gyrating and all that. I said, wait a minute, maybe I could do this. And then about halfway through shooting that day, I was literally stewing in my own juices under the hot lights. And I said, maybe I could do that guy's job. And I saw the guy behind the camera.
And then I remember...
that was Ron.
Yeah, that was Ron. He's our DP. But you sort of immediately were like trying to get into the producer mode. I remember you kept saying, what if my wife played Fanny?
Yeah, he did say that a couple times in front of Fanny, I believe.
In front. And we kept trying to explain to you, like, no, this is the 4th episode. The show's been going. Like, this is our cast. Yeah. This isn't like an anthology thing.
Yeah, like she's already been, in it.
Yeah. And at the time, I don't even think I was married. I might have just been imagining, like all rock stars. Sometimes when the lights go down, we just think about what it would be like to have a wife.
Have some poontang that's yours legally.
That's right. No more having to shoplift the poon. And I thought, what if I had a wife here, and what if she was the one doing this, and I was the one over there telling her what to do?
She's the one stewing in her juices.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That's such an enviable relationship, isn't it? To have, the director barking orders at a young ingenue in front of the camera. Everyone wants that.
Right.
I do.
It is. It's such an enviable relationship to be working.
To have a working relationship is amazing.
Yeah, just to have someone who will cast you and things, I think would be amazing. I don't have to tell you that, Letty. I know it's a problem in your marriage as well.
Oh, it's not a problem. I have plenty of things that I do, but I am available and open and flexible for other work, especially considering that my husband is trying to break into the Fast and the Furious franchise, and I feel that I could be very good at driving a car incredibly fast and furiously.
Yeah, he wants to do a spinoff that's just the cars, right?
Yeah, he wants to focus on the cars and their backstory.
And sort of have them talk.
Yeah, kind of a Holy Motors situation meets Cars, the Pixar film.
I don't know that second one that you said, but I love Holy Motors.
Yeah. He wants the cars to talk to each other. To that whenever time they talk, their headlights would flash. He has it storyboarded out. It's taking over my entire dining room. Okay.
And every time he doesn't cast you in something, you just loudly talk about how funny it is to you that he's not.
But it's so funny, isn't it? It's like a wonderful, beautiful BAFTA hopeful is sitting right there in front of him.
I actually pitched my own idea for a reboot of the Fast and the Furious called Planet of a Million Billion Spooky Cars. And we were going to have like the Monster Mobile.
Oh, the Dragula. You sang a song about that thing once.
Yeah, well, yeah, that like spooky Model T drag car.
That's so good.
A couple of different Batmobiles, the spookier ones.
So yeah, they could definitely not the Adam West.
That episode of the Flintstones where their neighbors are scary.
Gravedigger.
Yeah, that's so good.
Oh, the monster truck, yeah.
You should really do that for real. And I would be an excuse for me to visit America if you did want to cast me, make it right for the La Casa of 5,000 headless disembodied heads.
Now, do you have any experience playing a car?
Of course I can play a car. Beep, beep, boop, boop, get out of the way.
Shia LaBeouf also told me that he had experience playing a car. It turns out he did not play any of the cars in that movie.
No.
He was just a boy who yelled at the cars.
He's the former. I think they're the trans and he's the former.
Shia is trans.
Yeah, I think that's why he's such a trans rights advocate.
Amazing. Wow, what a person he is.
He really is a great person, Shia LaBeouf.
That's quoted from, you said that.
Clip that.
Just to let you know that I'm totally open, I'm totally available. I love cars.
And I would do if there's parts, that's great, but I would also work in craft services or just mop up all the oil at the end of the day.
There is an opening for wiping my butt if you want to come back.
Okay. Now that you're bringing me back. All right, why don't we jump into the final scene from this episode, and when we come back after a couple minutes, we'll discuss it. Here we go.
All right, out of my... I can't get through, Fanny. These ravers are blocking the way.
Nathan, look! They're all synchronized. I think we have to match their movement algorithm to work our way through the crowd and get to Corvus.
You mean...
Dance with me.
Fight the rhythm, fight the power, fight the seconds, fight the hours, fight the action, fight the street, fight the music, fight the beat, fight the rhythm, fight the power, fight the seconds, fight the hours, fight the action, fight the street, fight the music, fight the beat.
The way he mixes rock with techno is just hypnotizing.
Fanny the drum machine!
It's your lucky day, Corvus. This club provides bottle service.
Oh!
Why'd you do it, Corvus? You're no Eddie Rabbit, but your music's good. You didn't need to hypnotize everyone.
I'm not a hard rocker. I'm just a high school kid. Everyone ignored me, bullied me, and then a mage in my AP Chem class taught me how to do simple biorhythmic hypnotism, and I used it to make people think I was rich, famous, cool. I just wanted them to see me.
Well, they'll all see you now, provided their cable subscription package includes Court TV.
You know, Corvus, I liked you because I thought you didn't care what people think. But now I see that you're the most repulsive thing in the world to me.
A phony?
I was going to say poor, but yeah, that's a good point too. We may be a group of freaks, but we're a group of freaks who knows who we are, and we aren't afraid to be ourselves.
A hit demon hunter.
A rock and roll witch.
A cool, pretty, rich, likable, pretty girl who's gorgeous.
A guy.
And a mummy.
Yeah, so if you think you're just gonna... Wait, Nathan, did you say mummy?
Oh, what?
Wow. Okay. So the reveal, the group finally knows Nathan's a mummy. Rob, let's talk about your acting for a second in that scene. What is that voice that you did?
Oh, that was actually, they had to bring somebody in to do a voice.
Who
Yeah.
do we know who that was?
I believe it was Tobey Maguire.
Wow.
Wow, what a talent.
Your future enemy one day when he would become Spider-Man.
To be clear, I don't dislike Spider-Man. I have some notes.
You're disappointed.
Yeah.
You're not angry at Spider-Man. You're just disappointed.
And
Did you think that the man would be a spider?
I thought that they said, listen, as a musician, I had heard the song that said that he could do whatever a spider could.
So you thought he was like a man's head on a little spider body.
I thought he would be, mummifying and then drinking the juices from people.
Wow. Yeah. And then, so we have the mummy reveal.
You
We
know,
have
it was really exciting. I totally forgot that Toby, when he was there, he brought the entire pussy posse with him.
That's right.
Didn't
That's
he?
right. It was
Yeah.
Leo, Jack Osborne.
Leo, Jack, Toby, Juliette Lewis, everyone was there.
Who else was in that pussy posse?
Yeah.
I want to say Bradford Marsalis.
Oh my
the
God.
jazz musician, and his brother Wynton.
Wynton was there that day at set.
And Doc Severin from the Tonight Show band, I think, was in the pussy posse too. Yeah.
Yes. It was all of those beautiful, beautiful men.
A wild day.
That was a wild after party, I'll say that.
A wild day. Well, this is pretty much about the size of it. Rob, what for you, before we stop talking about this episode, what for you would you say is like the lasting legacy for you of this episode on your career?
Well, definitely the song, of course.
Mhm.
I mean, that's number one. When people talk about Rob Zombie, they say, do my bidding. And most of the time, they're referring to the song.
Yeah, that's a rough phrase. There's not a lot of consent involved in that phrase.
Not really.
Yeah. But hey, that's what the episode's about, It's about losing control, and then taking down the person who who took it from you. And that's a very powerful message, I think, that we sent to teens on Fanny Falls Demon Hunter 1997 to 1997.
It was very powerful for them, for the post-grunge teens.
All right. Well, let's just do our quick question of the week before we get out of here. This week's question of the week is from let's see, at Friendly Neighborhood Dave. But anyways, he just wants to know, is there a crew member on the set who you think doesn't get enough credit for what they did? And Rob, you can answer this too, but Letty, if you think of something. I guess I'll start and just say we talked about it a lot, but our craft services guy was so good.
Really did a lot.
He had a lot. Everyone had different sort of dietary needs and restrictions, and I
was allergic to tinfoil.
Yeah, and he had to keep that in mind when he did stuff up. He could not, because even if it had just cooked in tinfoil, you still could taste it.
I broke out in hives.
Yeah. I had a thing where I didn't like bowls. I didn't like food to be
like
presented in bowls. Yeah, I didn't like to eat out of them. So if it was like a soup or something in craft services, they would have to bring me a plate of soup or a cup even. I'm not a fancy guy.
You did have soup out of a red Solo cup. I remember that.
A lot. And people always thought that I was just sort of drinking cough syrup or whatever, but it was just like usually a potato soup.
It's so good. A chunky potato soup in a red Solo cup. Yum.
It just brings me back
Really
to the Chicago winters.
I gotta give it up to our DP Ron, because he really did do a lot. He really was back there every day, just setting up those shots and stuff, and then he would always try to touch my bum, and it was just it was great, because I said, oh, stop him at work, and he would go, you like it. And I don't know if Ron ever got fired, but last I heard he's in prison, so I do want to give him his praise that he was due, that before he went to prison, he had a career as a DP on our show.
And I know that Colby would also often be whispering ideas to him, and not DP ideas, but sort of ideas about how to harass you.
It was ways to harass the female cast members, because she really she liked to keep us on our toes, is what she said when we thoughtfully complained to her. And he so he did her bidding, I guess. He said
Isn't that ironic? He really did do all the try to touch us, try to give us little pats on the back, like so
that.
Colby would have Ron do that. She came for me directly as the main male cast member, but
that was really fun on set.
It was. We had a good time. Rob, did you have anyone that jumps out to you?
I gotta give it up to Tigress O'Hara, musical director on the show.
You guys must have worked together a lot for this.
That's right.
This is a little peek behind the scenes. When I was asked to do this, and they told me the plot, I said I was just gonna stand on stage and just do a single tone for 10 minutes, and that was how I was gonna hypnotize. And Tigress said, do you think you have a song that maybe we could use instead? This could be a chance to get a song out there. And I was like, that's not how you hypnotize people. I named my band after a zombie movie.
That's so cool.
It's all about, you got to do a high tone and then like a low tone at the same time, like a Mongolian throat singer. God bless Tigress O'Hara said, just do a song.
You guys worked together on I think that fight the rhythm song that plays in Act 3 as well. But it's a banger, but it did not have the success of Do My Bidding.
Success, yeah.
Well, Rob Zombie, it's been an honor having you here. We thank you for your time on Fanny Falls. The fans thank you, of course. Now, I don't want to brag, but you should get an extra Twitter follower and a half from doing the show.
Thank you.
We hope. Is there anything that you want to plug? Any new movies you have coming up? Halloween 3?
I'm currently, with the COVID-19 pandemic, there's not a lot of movies getting made, but that's just fine because
that's why. Is that why?
That's what they've told me, is because I keep showing up. I go out to that big gate in front of the Warner Brothers, and I stand out there. I say, "Hello, it's me, Rob Zombie. Can I come in and make a movie? I got some ideas. I got one about cars."
Yeah, you should really do that one. That sounds really good. And I think that we did just consult with you on it. So it feels like we can get a consultant.
Maybe even story by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
With an ampersand, not an and.
Yeah, we can be on as an ampersand. That's fine.
But I am now, I've started my own winery. I bought some vineyards.
Wow.
And our first bottling should be out this fall. Look for the Sultry Frankenstein Winery.
Sultry Frankenstein.
And what's your first batch called?
It's called Sacrificial Lamb's Blood.
Love it.
Oh, delicious. That a Merlot.
It's just a red blend, but it's mostly just we get the runoff from other vineyards and
Delicious.
just gotta shake it up.
Wow, that's amazing.
Some people live a very nice life off runoff, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, if you want to just send us a case, I would be happy to promote it on my social media.
All right. That sounds good. I also, my wife and I, we started a chinchilla farm.
Oh, that's great.
Maybe I can talk her about sending you one of these chinchillas.
I don't need that.
I would love that, actually. If you could send me a case of the chinchillas, I think my wolves would actually greatly enjoy that.
All right. Well, if you want a chinchilla, you can go to the website for Rob Zombie's Chinchilla Farm, Satan's Little Maniacs.
Oh, that's adorable.
Letty, you got anything coming up?
I would love to tell you that the answer is yes. And I guess I'll say we'll have to see, won't we?
We will have to
It's
see.
award season, and I'm feeling pretty optimistic.
No, all the nominations have come out. And
Is that
typically,
true?
yeah, and typically the way the award season works is you worked on something the previous year.
But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if.
Well,
and
time will tell.
I guess I'll see what my people of Cyprus, if they have an award coming out, if they have any kind of award shows, I'm gonna see about that.
That'd be nice. That'd be good for you.
What
Good for you. I'm headed into Hot Springs, Arkansas with my buddy Spider here, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep trying to head east towards you, but who knows? Maybe I'll be able to find a local improv group, hop on stage with them. Yeah. So maybe that'd be fun. So if you know anyone that does improv in Hot Springs, Arkansas, hit me up.
Especially during the pandemic, I'm sure there's a lot of improvisers right now doing it.
Yeah, I don't do Zoom shows. I want to be clear about that.
Hacks.
Yeah, I only do in-person shows. Yeah, if you're doing Zoom shows, you're a fucking loser and a hack. Anyways, well, that's all the time we have for today.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Letty. It's always a pleasure to see you. We'll be back next week. Let's see, what episode are we talking about next week? Oh, this is a big one. This is Best Self, and we'll be having... I'm muted for a second. Next week, we'll be talking about Best Self. Episode 5 is a big one. We'll have Solomon Buckton, who played Nathan the Mummy, on the show.
Oh, my God.
So please, will join us right here for that next week. And until then, keep it Fanny and keep it Fallsy. Hey guys, it's Andy Fleming. I host the show as Topher, but really I'm a real guy. The cast for this episode was Mandy McKelvey as Thora Ann Green as Fanny Falls, Morris Timms as Solomon Buckton as Nathan, Jessica Mance as Nutella as Jasmine Feinberg, my incredible co-host Stephanie Weber as Letty Lamora as Ophelia Orkin, our guest, the hilarious Nathan P. Woodard as Rob Zombie as Corvus Bitter, and little old me, Andy Fleming, as Topher Jason as Charles Blocker. If you're enjoying the show, I can't implore you enough to check out our Patreon for the Dumb Fun family of podcasts at patreon.com/dumbfun, where you can support for as little as $2 a month. You can also rate us, write a review, subscribe, tell a friend. All this stuff means the world to me. Also, check out the other Dumb Fun shows, 30 Characters and Musical the Movie the Podcast, a show I host with a different Steph, where we talk about a musical movie with a theater person and a comedy person, and I write a new original song for it. In fact, as a little treat for listening to all this jibber jabber that I'm doing right now, I'm going to tag this episode with the song I wrote for our Sound of Music episode, Sabotage in the Name of the Lord. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Keep it Fanny and keep it Fallsy.
Love is patient, love is kind, love is taking garden shears to a rake line.
Lead us not to temptation, but when nuns do it, then it's not a sin. We're moving right under cover of night, because the Lord's light guides us on. Our hearts grow huge through subterfuge on these fascist Nazi scum. Snip, slay, sabotage in the name of the Lord. Slay, slash, pray, snip, slay, sabotage just because we were born. I
I spilled sugar in your gas tank, what a klutz.
Whoops, I spilled taps where you sit your butt.
In Christ's name we sabotage in the name of the Lord.
It's a tough wafer to chew.
But it's a mortal sin to fuck with Jesus' crew.
Slip, slay,
Sabotage in the name of the Lord.
slay, slash, pray. Slip, slay,
Sabotage is because we were born.
slay, slash, pray. So Maria left the nuns to be a slut.
This broad may be kooky, but she's one of us.
And that's why we sabotage in the name of the Lord.
Fun, dumb.